All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing Carl's Doomsday Scenario by Matt Dinniman. This is book number 2 in Matt Dinniman's Dungeon Crawler Carl series of novels. I've got most of them here. I don't have all of them. But anyway, let's talk about the cover first, because you know I love graphic design and cover illustration, and I do think these are good covers. Just simple, flashy, colorful. They look great. You know, the first book here, Dungeon Crawler Carl, and, you know, the matches it in tone and style. The spines all look really good together. Bling. So we'll give the publisher an A+ on that. Now, if you want to watch my review of Dungeon Crawler Carl, book number 1 in this series, all you need to do is type in my last name, Durfee, into your YouTube search bar, and then the title of the book, and then through some sort of pagan sorcery, that book review will magically appear upon your television screen. I don't know how that works, but it does. Anyway, that's if you want to watch this review before we watch the review for book number 2. So, what is the premise of Dungeon Crawler Carl? Well, right here at the beginning of this book, it gives us a good explanation, so I'll read it. The aliens have come, and they've transformed Earth into a multi-level video game-like dungeon. It's the newest season of the galaxy's most watched game show, Dungeon Crawler World. Now, on the 3rd floor, Carl and Donut have to fight harder than ever. They've already proven that a Coast Guard vet and a once-and-forever feline royalty are an almost unstoppable team. The ratings are off the charts. Viewers can't get enough. So, who is Dungeon Crawler Carl? Who is Carl? And who is Donut? So, Carl is an ex-Coast Guard guy because, well, the aliens have come down and destroyed everything, so there's no more Coast Guard. But now he's been thrust into this dungeon-esque sort of Hunger Games scenario that is being televised for all the universe to watch, and it is the most popular game show in the universe, and Dungeon Crawler Carl has garnered quite a following on the social media apps out there in the universe, but he's also got his girlfriend's cat on this adventure with him, and that is Donut, the prettiest of all pretty cats to have ever existed, and she is royalty. And together they go through adventures. Now, in this book, they've got a character named Mordecai, the handsomest incubus to ever have lived. He's a level 50 guild master, and he's kind of guiding Carl and Princess Donut through this dungeon. And with them also, it's not only Carl and Donut and Mordecai, but they've gained a 4th member of their team named Little Mongo. And that is a small baby velociraptor dinosaur. So as you can tell, this book, it's not like a serious thing. It's like a Guardians of the Galaxy-esque, funny type of adventure story. And that's the charm of the whole thing, is the humor that Matt Dinniman puts in these books. Humor is hard to write, and Matt Dinniman has done it probably better than almost anybody that I've seen since like the Hitchhiker's Guide from the Galaxy. Anyway, in this book, you know, they've leveled up to level 3 now, because they did the first 2 levels in book 1. Now they're in the level 3 of this dungeon, and they get to choose their class. And now this is kind of a Dungeons and Dragons thing where, you know, when you start a Dungeons and Dragons game, you get to choose your class. Like, you can be a fighter, a magic user, a thief, a rogue, a healer, whatever. Now these guys, Dungeon Crawler Carl and Princess Donut, get to choose what class they are. And then the fun ensues, because as we kind of go through their little trying to choose what type of class they're going to be, like what kind of attributes do I want to be magically bestowed upon myself so I can go through the 3rd level of this dungeon and not get killed in front of millions of TV viewers. Well, the fun starts when they start choosing what type of magic powers they're going to get and things like that. And then they end up in the dungeon level 3, which is a real medieval place. There's a whole new set of problems to this game, to this dungeon game, which are different from book 1. So now in book 2, we're dealing with actual quests. They have to go out on actual quests. And they have to go through a place called the Overcity. It's just basically the Overcity. Overcity, a sprawling, once thriving metropolis devastated by a mysterious calamity or something like that. And now the streets of Overcity are teeming with the undead, a circus of zombies that haunts and hunts the ruins of this city. All the while, murdered women are raining from the sky. Which, I mean, like I said, none of this makes sense. It's just like a crazy Guardians of the Galaxy-esque type of fun story. It's not taking itself too seriously. We're reading it for the fun and the jokes and the weird adventures and the absurdities of everything that is around every corner. It's just a fantastic book. Now, there's one of the things that they've got to do is they've got to solve. There's an ancient sorcery somewhere in this game that will reveal a very dark purpose unless Carl, Princess Donut, and the Velociraptor named Little Mongo and our guy Mordecai can solve the mystery of the whole absurd dungeon that they're in. And it's just a great fun adventure, absurd, Quentin Tarantino-esque, bizarro violence. It's R-rated, just so you know, it's R-rated. And I'm going to give it, I mean, I loved the first book, and the second book was just as entertaining. And I think I gave the first book like a 10 out of 10. It was spectacular. So I have to give this one a 10 out of 10 too. I mean, it's just colorful in every way possible, from the cover to all the words inside the book.